Somebody asked me this question the other day and it really intrigued me. How do I know whether I'm stuck in my awakening or just stuck in life? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So the other day I answered a question. We have a group on Facebook, a community, if you will, full of like-minded individuals going through an awakening experience. And I asked a few people what questions they would like answered, because quite frankly I was running out of content ideas, and it was very intriguing to read one of them. I answered one of them in another video about finding your purpose and how to ease through that. But today I had an idea to talk about this question. The question was, what if I'm, actually the feeling behind it was, what if I'm just stuck in life? And what if this isn't an awakening at all and I'm just stuck in life and things like this? And it rung some bells inside of me because the question in itself implies a little bit of separation, doesn't it? What if I'm stuck in the awakening? How do I know whether I'm stuck in the awakening or if I'm stuck in life? It implies that the awakening and life are separate, when in fact they're one and the same. At the start of our journey, we begin to learn about the ego, isn't it? We recognise that this thing in the mind is the ego. But it happens in front of us, doesn't it? We're the one witnessing the ego. If we close our eyes, the mind's thoughts, they're witnessable, they're observable by something deeper, that thing that we are. That thing that we are, we call the self, isn't it? And because it's our deepest most point, we might call it ground zero in our beingness. Now we're all that self, experiencing the human ego in a different way. Perhaps we've come in to play out a few different themes with this ego that we're interfacing with. But what's interesting to me is that everything, in time, it becomes true that everything is the self. And so that must mean that everything is awakening to that self. There isn't anything separate from that self. We are all that self. We're just in different degrees of realizing our true nature, isn't it? And that's the awakening journey. And so where does this idea of depression come from? Well, in the West, our society teaches us that depression is something to be managed. Is something that can be controlled with medication. But depression is the side effect. Western medicine looks at the side effect, and how can we cure the side effect? It's not looking at the vibrational root. Well, what's the root of depression? Well, the root of depression is disconnection from that self that we all are, that we're talking about. And so the question itself, there's a misunderstanding in it. From my perspective, and it's okay, I'm quite open to being wrong. It certainly wouldn't be the first time. But the misunderstanding is that we are seeing our self as separate from that big self that we're all trying to slowly evolve and realize into. Depression isn't necessarily something that can be managed. We can pop a pill and it might help, but it'll probably just numb the system out. The reason we're feeling that way is because we're disconnected from our source. And that's why we call it the dark night of the soul. But luckily it's just coming because we're wanting to realize that the pain is happening in front of that thing that we are as the self. So this journey is taking us back home towards the source of who we are, whilst we're still in this body. So can we technically say that we're stuck in life when awakening to the self is life? It's life's highest purpose, it's the journey that we're on. And so can we close the gap on that separation? Can we close the gap on that idea, would be my question. Because we are that self, we are this stillness inside. We are that silent feeling vibration, that's ourself. We're also the witness to that silent feeling vibration too. And so how do we know whether we're stuck in life or stuck in the awakening? Well, everything is awakening to itself. And therefore, if we're stuck in life, we're stuck in the awakening. And if we're stuck in the awakening, we're stuck in life. We can't separate the two because they are one and the same. To be stuck is a blessing because it means that it's just realization. It's the other side of realization. Being stuck is realization that's just not been realized yet. And so, can't get anything wrong, haven't done anything wrong, can't get it done. And so, can we have some humility in the moment that we're experiencing? Because it can be painful, we know. The dark night of the soul especially can be very, very painful. But can we have some humility? What does humility mean? Humility means accepting that somebody else might have a better way. It means not having such a high opinion of myself that I must be the all-knowing one. I must know why this is happening to me, because quite frankly, we don't know why these things are happening to us. It is, in essence, revealing a treasure inside, but the reason why it's happening, apart from that, I don't know. So can we have humility that God or the universe that's guided us here into this awakening has a better plan for us, that it knows what it's doing? If we reject this moment that's dark and lonely and sad, then what we're really saying is, I don't trust God or life's plan or life's divine purpose for me. And in doing that, we become arrogant. And this is why we ask for humility, so that we can come in and meet that pain and say, okay, it's all right, this must be happening for a reason. Everything is always working out for me, and I trust that larger power that's led me here. In fact, could we even say that we're stuck? Maybe the feeling is, yes, we're stuck. But if it's necessary, then are we stuck? Or is it just something that we have to move into, to feel into? Doesn't stuck perhaps imply avoidance of that thing that we're scared to feel into? Stuck might mean I'm scared to do it, and I haven't found another way to cheat the awakening to get out of feeling it. And the thing is, we can't. And so it's all right that we're patient, because God's patient. The universe is patient with us, and it's kind. We don't have to feel everything the moment the idea comes. No, we can be patient, we can avoid for as long as we like. But when we're ready, humility's there to say, okay, I accept this as a necessary part of my journey. Let me see what it can teach me. I hope this video helps. I hope it answered the question. I don't know whether it did. It was from Arjun Jain in the group. If you want to join the group, you're more than welcome to. It's free to apply. You can even add some questions to the poll and then get an answer. If there is one from me, who knows. You can also sign up for the free breathing practice down below, should you wish, if you want to start your journey or awaken some bliss inside. There's also some free yoga that's completely new down below that you're more than welcome to sign up for. And as well, there's the awakening coaching, which you're more than welcome to apply for, but the coaching itself isn't free. The application form is, but we need to see if we're a good match first. I hope this video helps. Have a lovely day. Namaste.